Ron?
I think if we go around and start introducing ourselves and announcing if we are running or not.
Yeah, I think if you are, but just wanted to make sure, clarify that if you are, we want to make sure that you are recording.
I already started recording.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Me too.
Great. Okay, yeah, we can, I guess if we're all recording, we're ready to go. We can kind of introduce ourselves. Anyone want to feel free to start or I can?
I will go first.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. My name is Anas. I've been in the EOS community since the Genesis. I'm intending to run. I don't have a specific project or I am technically capable, but then I have some ideas that I want to pursue where I think where EOS can and Eden can grow. I will leave for you to introduce yourself.
Perfect, thanks. Thanks for going. You guys feel free, don't step on anybody, go ahead.
I don't intend to run. I'm just here to vote.
Okay, well, thanks for participating. We need voters like yourself. Mr. Eddie, you plan on running, bud? You got yourself muted there, Eddie.
Oh, there you go. No, not running.
Okay, you kind of cutting out in Matrix there. Matrix land a little bit. So can you maybe restate that and clarify that just so for the recording? Yeah, we're having a bit of issues with Eddie. We'll wait for you, guy. It's like we might have lost you, Eddie. Okay, well, we wait for Eddie to come back. I'll just, my name is Todd Slosser, part of the Eden community since inception and part of the EOS community since Genesis blocking before then. Just for the record, I'm kind of still waiting on Eddie to come back, but I do plan on running, asking for your vote anyways. So, looks like we might have lost Eddie. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come back in now that we're already in this group. Anybody know that?
I think he can't.
No. Just continue.
So.
Let's continue without him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I mean, it's unfortunate. Okay, so
I think he anyway said he don't want to run.
Yeah. It's good to have an extra voter, you know.
That's true.
All the participation we have right now is basically we're just trying to test out this model to make sure, you know, we get good qualified people in here. Oh, he was able to start back up. Cool. You're back, Eddie. We can see you. Cool.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Just over you.
Yeah, I'm not planning on running.
Okay, cool. Well, glad you're here though. We need your participation. So cool. Thanks for coming. At least trying to show up. Cool. So, has anybody got any questions? Straight up questions before we get started, or?
Yeah, I would like to know. Yeah, but what you want to, or what you're running for, and what you want to do with it. So
yeah. Yes, you know, anybody had any pertinent questions before we get started? But go ahead. Sorry, Anastasia. How do you spell your pronounce your name? I'm sorry.
My last name is Al Harbi. So
I'm not even gonna try to butcher that.
Yeah.
Enough people butcher.
Just to stick with Anas. Yeah.
Is it a nickname you feel comfortable us calling you as?
Yeah.
No, my apologies. People butcher my last name all the time, Schlosser. So it's like, so I'm kind of used to it myself. So, but perfect. Yeah, yeah. What was you said you might have had a project in mind, or you might have you had some plans maybe for some funding that you know.
All right. Let me start by saying that I am not technically capable of programming or coding, but as I say that I have some ideas that I want to pursue it, that I want to see Eden supporting EOS on it and see it impacting back to the community. So let me say, okay, there's the first election, which Chris ran. It demonstrates that the impact of Eden in helping EOS directly, as the example that it's been showed, that with the smaller funding, there is kind of impact to the general community of EOS. I think what's special about Eden, it is the ability to govern. And I wish as the output of all of this election, where it is showing support on Eden supporting EOS in its governance model, either supporting a direction of governments or having a certain role where influence the BB vote or in a proxy or in that aspect, right? In the same thing, for Eden to prove to the broad community of EOS that it is capable of taking that seat to govern, it had to be internally strong enough to reflect that. What I mean by that, there is what we've seen today. Dominic is overwhelmed. It's a clear example that we need more forces that supporting it is not one-man show. We have more than 150 people already part of Eden. And also you cannot ask all of the people to contribute in a way freely. I wish if this 2,000 EOS being spent back as a kind of hourly income for the people to build an internal process inside Eden itself, where it shows there is a strong structure, where it is clearly we need a lot of people where we have, it is almost like you are building a company, right? You will have a treasury department and you will have a marketing department. You have all of the pillars where it is structuring everything fall under it. So if I wasn't hoping to be elected or to be but to pursue these ideas in the second or the third round. And if I get elected for the first round, the 10 EOS, the first thing that this 10 EOS, most likely it will be delegated where it's supporting these two ideas. If it is been selected inside the Eden process, or it is outside of the Eden process. I know it is 10 is not that much, but when it is collaborated with other projects, it might support it even more. Yeah, if even that direction didn't help, or that doesn't, there is no clear indication of that 10 EOS that it will go in that round. Most likely it will be run on an ad campaign. Most likely I will go with Reddit. Like, this is what I have seen, that there is a lot of the crypto community, they are living on Reddit. So running an ad campaign that is relevant to Eden and EOS and Reddit itself. So this is the two ideas that I have in mind, and this is what I want to pursue. I am not, if Todd have similar idea, I'm not focusing on running more than these ideas to be pushed forward, not myself.
Well, yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I've been thinking a lot about the project, or that I'm going to have a few projects in incubation that I'm running myself personally. But if I were to stay true to the Eden purpose and say what would be the best for Eden, and not only best for Eden, but the EOS ecosystem, which project would I sort of run or help pursue? And you know, I've been giving this a lot of thought here lately, and so I figured that the best project for us to sort of push and run behind is the actual Eden EOS software. Because this is the, people may not be looking at this the right way, but Eden OS, the software actually will be the DApp of all dApps built on EOS. If we can support more along the lines you're saying, support the project, support the in-house project, because we need this DApp, the Eden OS DApp, to work and show the market, hey, look, we can build applications, not only applications, but true web-based decentralized applications on EOS and this infrastructure. And if we can get Eden OS to actually fulfill that role, I think we got a better shot at actually promoting EOS as an ecosystem. All right, so we need to actually fund EOS. I mean, our Eden on EOS. We need to fund our initial project, sort of like you're saying, we're sort of building not necessarily a business because it won't be incorporated, but we need to sort of think about it like that, but we will have internal expenses, marketing expenses, administrative expenses. This is sort of the platform that I had ran on initially on the first trial, that we need to put the funds back into a treasury account for these specific kind of actions that need to be taken. For instance, the kind of lack of administrative help that we have is sort of created this bottleneck now. So if we had a little bit of funds and some type of treasury, we could have put towards that, paid professional people to market this, to advertise this, to get more people on, I think we could have had a way better turnout than what we had today. And so if we can sort of start doing that going forward, I think we're going to have a better chance of actually surviving. If not, this thing is going to be hard pressed to kind of keep going. You know, there's not much incentivization for people. So yeah, we need to really kind of put those funds back into it internally. And then whether we have some, we figure out, hey, we're going to elect some board to then figure out what needs to be best. Or just we simply have a treasury fund that we have some type of petty account that we can pull from to use these expenses on running some ad campaigns, some marketing campaigns, creating some media advertising campaigns, the creative copy. Copy is super expensive and super hard to come by. So if we can actually have some funds to pay for these things, I think we have a better shot at success getting EOS actually Eden to actually be successful on EOS. So however those funds need to be directed, that's sort of up to a board, but we need to have some kind of funds in a sort of treasury department, in a treasury account, a multi-sig account that it can be allocated towards these special use cases that we need. Otherwise, we're going to have these problems like we have today. Dominic has been doing a tremendous job, but he just has so much on his plate. He's trying to do so much by himself. The man needs help, and the only way for us to incentivize people to help is to pay them. If we can pay them with the funds that Dan has donated, those funds then be paid directly to an Eden member account to do the work for Eden. This is the best use case scenario, I feel, for these funds. And I would push this narrative all the way up to the top. So this is not a personal project that I want to fund. I want to fund Eden. And you guys, award me with their vote, then I will push this all the way to the top. It's not some personal project that I am looking to pursue. I'm looking to pursue Eden, Eden OS software. If you want to put a finger on a project, put it on the EOS Eden OS software project. These guys are building the tools that we're using, and so we need to fund this micro ecosystem before we can attempt to try to battle the macro ecosystem. You know, if we can't fund and feed ourselves, we don't have a chance at making an impact on the macro system, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if we are asking like the proposed 0.25 of the inflations, like for the next round, I want the one who will be elected that with the board, at least, where they can decide to set up a percentage where is to be allocated for the marketing, where it will be allocated for that. Under the marketing, there is people are working specifically on that, where they know what they will be targeting. There will be a YouTuber influencer program, like the everything EOS contribution, or it is special ads, or it is the publishing of what is happening, the progress of the update. Like it is much more formal. And if there is even like, I don't know that if it is, if it can be doable in that meantime, like a platform where it is a way that you can pay, what you call it, like a Fivers or wherever, that it is built on EOS, where we can attract the people that they have these certain skills. Yes, you can find jobs over here. We are offering marketing jobs. We can offer scripting jobs, whatever that the targeted jobs, non-technical jobs, that it can be allocated and funded. And maybe they will be intrigued with the process itself, and they will end up be a part of the Eden community, even if they never interacted with the crypto community at all, right?
Yeah, I think the main purpose is to be able to actually get this thing off the ground. And we're still in sort of pilot stage. And a lot of folks who are, you know, they just want funding for their own projects. And there's nothing wrong with that. But once it leaves the Eden ecosystem, you know, it's going to take too long to get that return on our investment, if you want to think about it like that. You know, we're funding these other projects that are in hopes that will do a positive impact on the entire ecosystem of EOS in the long term. We're not there yet. You know, we need to sort of take baby steps and to make sure that we're funded in-house first, and then to make sure that the people of our community are taken care of first. You know, so that's just where I'm kind of thinking at, you know. And I've actually go ahead.
I like the idea of funding the marketing, because the marketing is very needed.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I'm on Todd's side that it's more urgent to build the Eden system. And actually, we saw it today. Dominic needs help. And with the funds we have with this second election is not a lot. I think it's or we can, maybe Todd can take the marketing idea on the next round, just to say it's urgent as well, yeah. But I think it's more urgent, yeah, to that this process is running smooth, yeah, and that we. I read the proposal from Chris as well, and I liked it as well to start the. Fuck.
That's okay.
Oh, sorry. There's so always one calling me who cannot enter the election. Yeah, we cannot do anything anyway. So he wanted to start the proxy, and also for the, I think, to start the Eden proxy, he needed 5 EOS. I don't know if you read the proposal from Chris.
Yeah, somewhat, but there's a little bit difference of opinion on how we start that proxy. Actually, we're going to propose, depending on how we go, but this is sort of a community-wide proposal, that we all start our own proxy, that we create our own account, in which I've actually already went ahead and done that. So my Todd for Eden EOS account for Eden, I've actually created that into a proxy. So you can vote for my direct account, Eden EOS account, as a proxy. So,
yeah.
so I think we should all do that, and that's going to be a proposal that we're going to propose that all representatives create their EOS account into a proxy account. So that way.
But like this, then the whole power is split through the whole people, and if we have just one Eden proxy, like what I like with Chris' proposal is that he also includes, I think, with EOS Costa Rica, a portal to vote and all this stuff. It also, from me, I don't have the possibility now to figure out which BP I have to vote for, and it's including this one as well. But still, but Todd said it's still more urgent actually than Chris' proposal, because first we need to have this.
I've even made it easier for people.
Process running.
Yeah, I've made it one click. I've created a button where I click on my any web page. You put a one-click button that logs into Anchor, and you can sign the vote transaction. One click on Anchor. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I haven't rolled it out, and no one has seen it yet, but it's pretty awesome. So it's a one-click proxy vote. One-click button. Made it super easy for people, and so we're going to be able to do that for whoever's proxy, mine, whoever. So that button will be displayed and produced. It's ready to go.
One more question: is Eden OS is not already funded or a part of it from Dan? Or I read
I'm
something.
Sorry.
That Dan is actually funding the development of Eden OS, like Brandon Fincher, all the guys who are coding it.
Yes, Dan has started up the company Clarion. The team at Clarion is building the software for Eden OS. So Eden OS is the membership software that you log into, that you pay your dues, that mints the NFTs. So Clarion company is building that software for us, basically free of charge. So that's why I'm saying that we need to, if there's going to be a specific project that we put our finger on, it is the actual Eden OS software, because this is the membership software that we're currently using. This is the DApp software that hopefully we can point to and say, look, build your dApps like this, because most of the other dApps that are out there right now, they're not truly dApps. They're running all these centralized backend services. They're not dApps. They're just calling themselves a DApp because it's a nice buzzword. But if you look at the backend structures of all these other dApps, they're running on all centralized services. If you look at the backend services of what Eden OS is built on, these guys are building like a real, true decentralized app, a true DApp. So that when this is fully finished and deployed, we can say, look, this is what a true DApp looks like. Build your DApp like this.
But your funds would go to the guys who work for free now, like Dominic, to organize this process.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I think there's two parts of Eden: the one that they were developing the software itself, and the one orchestrating the community, or running the elections, or doing the front end of Eden, as with the people now here, right?
Yeah, that's sort of Eden
the 2000
on OS.
Yeah. The Eden on OS, it is what is supposed to be funded with this 2000 EOS, because that part they're already working on, and it is already being funded with Dan project, right? So this 2000, imagine if this 2000 being orchestrated for the next election to be much more organized, to be much more aligned, the way of submission, the way the project that it's been evaluated, and much more clearer for everyone to participate. Like we'll have 10 or 15 people supporting the job that Dominic is doing it by himself for this election now.
Yeah, that's my exact proposal, that we try to find in-house people first, because there is going to be a sort of tax once everything gets put in place. So going forward, if you get awarded funds and you pay someone out that is not in the Eden ecosystem, you'll get sort of taxed on it. So if we can create this funding in-house, pay for people that are actually members, that are actually doing work for Eden, whatever it may be. But Eden OS, is the software that we need sort of, and Eden on EOS is sort of the same thing, right? Eden on EOS is the community, and Eden OS is the software that the community uses to, create our memberships. That's sort of the marrying two. And so if we can create Eden OS into a demonstratable product, all chains will be able to simply cut and copy and paste the central Eden idea of a fractal governance. So this is
would be awesome.
Yeah. You can think of Eden on any chain that you want, really. So.
We would love to hear Heidi opinion and feedback since he stopped and join us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Clarion is kind of funded to some degree at this point, and Eden itself organizing what Dominic was doing. I mean, it all has to get funded. Yeah, and then I was cutting out at the very beginning, so I'm not sure what was said previously. But, yeah, if it's split into two, funding Clarion stuff or Eden stuff, it's more Eden.
No, it wouldn't be split in two. That's not what I'm proposing, if that's what you're asking. No, Clarion is its own central entity. Yeah, Clarion is just building Eden for us for free, basically. No, but all the fundings that I would be proposing would go directly to Eden, not Clarion.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good to me. Plenty to do.
Yeah.
Before thinking of other projects,
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's the idea. I was thinking we need to sort of, I have 4 kids and I've raised 4 daughters. My youngest daughter, believe it or not, just turned 18. So I think of decentralization like I think of my 4 daughters that I've raised for, then now they are sort of out in the wild. So you have to sort of create a centralized structure for something, create values and morals, and instill these values and morals into this sort of its own organism or organization. So sort of like a company or person, a decentralized company and a decentralized person, sort of one and the same, right? So if we need to first start off a bit centralized and then fund it, instill morals and instill values into this idea, into this ecosystem, to the stop making process, and then see what we can go. We can't ask the baby to feed itself when it's first born. We first need to kind of give it a little bit of funding. We need to, put the diapers on it, and we need to cradle this thing very carefully right now, or it's, in kid world, the first kind of couple of years is called the SID kind of mortality. So sudden infant death is kind of, you never know, but that first couple of years is so crucial. Hopefully it doesn't take a couple of years in Eden, but at least this first kind of iteration is going to be so crucial that we can actually, get something a footing. If not this, it's going to be hard to get this thing going. And it's going to be hard to, so I've studied a lot of software projects and a lot of tech companies, and almost all of them have become successful by creating and utilizing the blitzscaling effect, right? So once you get going, initially you get your first group of really core customers. Those really core customers really need to be entrenched and involved into the ecosystem or project, right? And then as you scale, then you can use that sort of core following to create that blitzscaling effect. And almost 9 times out of 10, you sort of have to create that blitzscaling effect. And if you don't, 9 times out of 10, the projects fail. And so that if we can kind of, you know, we're all sort of aligned, and if we can kind of create this, you know, a little bit tighter group of what we have, and we can all sort of put our talents and time towards something collective. And I think this is what this whole process is supposed to be, is that we can sort of 1 + 1 = 3, so that we can kind of put our time and talents together and really move the ball forward even more, rather than individualized projects or ideas or something, you know. So this is what I'm, you know, why I came to Eden, so that we can try to prove out this model of fractal democratic kind of decision making. How do we get humans to come together and that have different decisions, but all sort of like-minded, and then we can kind of put a decision or idea in the bucket and see what is the best idea and decision that comes out of the consensus of the crowd. So that, you know, if we can do that, that is the model that I think that we're trying to go after anyways, not just sort of a crowdfunding model, in my opinion. But we got to crawl before we can walk, guys. You know, you should probably, you know, you can probably all agree with that, right? Yeah.
All right, so let's take it for if we win the first round or the second round or the third round as a decision. Do you guys see this as the right approach to evaluate who should goes for the going forward? Like to reflect what is as a result of this election, right? Do you agree with me?
Oh, sure, Jack. I'm not sure of your question. Do we need to put the fundings back into Eden? Yeah, that's.
No, I mean, what I meant, like, should we now? So me and you are running now for the election. So should we highlight if we elected for the first round and the second round or third round, what is the funding decision will be directed, or did?
Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of, my idea is that it really depends on how many rounds that we get up. And my idea is that I'm going to represent our group regardless. So depending on how many rounds that we can get up, I hope to go all the way to the top and get to the bottom one, so that we can push this, you know, this idea even more, so that we can have even more of an impactful. But my idea is to represent us as a group, not just my opinion or idea. So I come into this trying to see what's the best consensus idea of the group, and then represent that all the way to the top to my fullest ability. And so there's a few other projects that, you know, we'll be able to offer as if we can go up the ladder a little bit more. I.e., if we get to the last round, I own the domain EOS.news. And so that's going to be a community project that I'm going to give to the Eden community if we can all sort of get a little bit of funding. But see, it all depends on the funding level, you know. So regardless, I have Eden. I've created a subdomain Eden on the regular main domain EOS.news, and so that will be a community project. So, you know, depending on I get funding or not, that's going to be a community-led project. So that will be essentially Eden's news, official news source on a domain that we own. Well, Eden will own, because I'm going to donate that domain most likely to the Eden project, so that we have our own source of news platform that we can that the community can use. So that domain will be available to Eden EOS community, so we can figure out what we want to build on it depending on the funding level. Yeah, that's I think that's going to be huge on actually controlling the narrative of EOS, right? Because you have all these different news sources and this and that, and you know, for a actual certified domain, we have EOS.news is, you know, is easy domain for people to remember, and hopefully we can create some kind of official channel there rather than just EOS.io, which is just more geared towards B1. So we can control that
Have you
narrative
talked-
a bit more.
Have you talked to Zach Gall at all with everything EOS? Just
Not
kind
a
of
whole,
merge the two.
yeah, well, whether we merge it or I just give it to the community, well, however we decide to do it, that's going to be kind of the deal. It's like it's up to the community. I haven't started anything on it because I don't want to put my biased opinion on something. You know,
And I know
wanted
he's
to-
trying to like hand over control in the same kind of way.
Yeah,
And if
Yeah,
that
we
can just
haven't
be kind of
directly-
turned into a DAO, you know, kind of.
yeah. This is the direction for EOS.news is that it will be a DAO, like, and it's going to be running on the EOS main chain, as a real DApp. But this is going to be something that I'm going, kind of like Dan is doing with Eden, and I'm building this on the back end for myself out of my own pocket, my own time. And I'm going to be donating this to the Eden ecosystem so that we can control our own narrative. And so that, however there's a few options that we can sort of do with it. But the main point is that it is to be up to the official community. And once we have an official election, we can create official board members and to the likes, then we can really start utilizing that platform in a more official way. And so that it can be distributed to the ecosystem. But yeah, I haven't directly collaborated with Zach yet. I know some of his plans and thoughts to sort of with everything EOS and sort of taking a back step position, or maybe not. So, but yeah, I haven't actually had the opportunity to directly collaborate yet. Something that we're going to be doing though.
So who is going forward from this group now? Eddie, which one do you vote for? You have to unmute.
It sounds like you're both kind of in agreement there. I have a hard time making that call.
Yeah, that would be something additional I could offer up at the end of the as sort of a a help to get us to that last round, because we don't get to the last round, we don't get, it's kind of like last time, we don't get anything. So I'm going to use that as an extra sort of cherry on the top to hopefully get us to that last round. And so that platform will be available.
I'm still vote for Todd, because he's more he had a more concrete idea how to use the funds, and yeah, it's like I just convinced now, yeah, that especially what happened with Dominic before, he needs help. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'll vote for Todd as well. Just to,
And I will.
it's a
And you
big
agree?
task, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I appreciate it, gentlemen. And like I said, I represent this group, not just myself or this idea. So whatever we need to sort of push forward, and we can kind of, we've all sort of put out some different ideas here, but I represent this group going forward, not just my idea. So whatever we need to do, or if there's something else that you guys want me to sort of carry on with me, and sort of ideas or your own opinions, or whatever you want me to move forward with, I represent you.
If you win, I would like that you double check with Chris Barnes with his proposal, with this Eden proxy. Maybe if there is also, yeah, if it makes sense, yeah, to do it or not, or
yeah, I'm going to propose
that
that
would
we
be
put
my wish. But if it makes more sense to put everything into the Eden, yeah, I trust you that you make the good, the good call. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the proxy, is sort of like I proposed with the BP last week on the open call. I think that we should have just put that idea into this decision-making process and decided with the group consensus, is this a good idea, one? Okay, we vote yay or nay. Is this a good idea? And then 2, okay, well, who is to become the company in charge? Okay, we vote on sort of that, and then at the top we say who is the one to going to be
Or maybe
delegate.
that you fund like Dominic, that he's able to start another election just for the proxy decision.
Right, yeah,
or
but
I don't know what makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we just create, something like any decisions that need to be made on behalf of the community needs to go through this system, because the crowd knows best. I don't think any one of us knows best. I think the crowd knows best. And so any of these big decisions that need to be made can be easily put through this fractal democratic decision-making system and come out with the best idea. So, even with the proxy, I'm going to propose that we put it through this sort of small mini democratic process to figure out, is it a good idea or is it not? Do we do it personally? Do we do it under one company? And do it that way. We'll figure out the best decision that way.
For me, it's good. I'm happy what I could say. Yeah, maybe Anna Salharbi also want to.
Yeah, I'm glad you say
Say
your
what
name right. Yeah, you catch it.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
that what is important for you, yeah, that Todd can bring to the next round.
Yeah, Todd, and if you came across, because I believe in the people that showed up today, there is a lot of people, they have a strong project, as long they are aligned with the ideas and supporting Eden to showcase that it is capable of what is as an ideas on how it will be achieved. Right. I strongly, even if you cast your vote for them.
Oh, absolutely. If it aligns with our sort of how we're collectively thinking, then absolutely. And but the question, we will have 10 EOS. What are we going to do with that? It's not just mine, it's all of ours. What do we want to do with that 10 EOS?
In my opinion, 10 EOS alone,
yeah, it's not a lot.
Cannot do a lot, but if it is like the good practice is to review what has been recorded for all of these projects. Yeah. If there is a project that in need of that amount, or there's a collab where it can be multiple people from the first round, where they be collaborating like 50 EOS or 100 EOS each, right, that it is beneficial, it is good. I think that's a good direction. If not,
yeah, or if you can collect the 10 EOS with the other guys who also have 10 EOS, that you just reach out, or put it in the treasury for when TOS, maybe one EOS is $100 once, and then we can take it from the treasury.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get more than, we get it to the last round and we'll have that combined amount, because it's just 10 now, and then it will be 100, and then so on and so forth. But just kind of putting it out there. If it was just the 10, hopefully we can get more than that, so we can stack it up and make bigger, more effort. But just putting it out there that I don't plan on just using these funds for myself personally. So just putting it out there. Like I said, this is a group effort. I hope to be able to represent this group, and we'll push our collective ideas forward. So
wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Thanks.
No worries.
Yee. All right. That's it. It sounds like some of you were still probably going at it, but that is what it is.